Use cases are more important than identity. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to my daily podcast in which I try to take one issue from the world of publishing and explain it in about 3 minutes. Today is the first of a multi-part series based on a presentation I did at the Martech conference last year. When you're building out a customer data platform, you need to focus on your use cases. And in order to build a successful use case, you should examine them from two different perspectives. First, from the data you collect from devices, and second, from the perspective of your customers as human beings. I call these two the device framework and the person framework. To understand this, let's back up and look at some fundamentals. The internet is based on a request and response system. For example, my Android phone sends a request to crablegroup.com and the server gives a response. The point is that people don't visit websites, devices do. So let's walk through the device framework. Number one, a device makes a request. Number two, that device has activity. Number three, you collect identifiers on that device. And number four, you try to resolve devices to a person using those identifiers. Now, there are different use cases for each step of that framework. For number one, you might target iPads differently than iPhones. For number two being the device has activity, you can target every device that views content with a particular tag, like retirement. For number three, you try to collect identifiers like IP address, location, usage patterns, or better yet, an email address. And that will help to resolve to a person. And then for number four, you try to match all the devices a person uses to a single person. That's the device framework. It's somewhat like device framework is the measuring left brain side of things, and the person framework is somewhat like the creative right brain side of things. A person is much more complicated than a device, because one person can have many devices and many personas. The person framework goes like this. Number one, a person. Two, has many devices. Three, that have many identifiers. That four, resolve to different personas. People try to hide their identity by using different browsers, different devices, incognito mode, etc. Many people don't buy into this tech nonsense of bringing your whole person into one account. Like Facebook wants one profile per person, but people compartmentalize their lives. They have a work life and a home life, a professional life and a hobby. They might want to keep their political or social views separate from their professional image. Now, I'll go into all this in more depth in the next episode, but for now, just remember that you need to think about devices and people on two separate tracks. Once you've been through both of those, reevaluate your use cases to make sure it addresses all the little wrinkles and exceptions and weirdness you discovered by using these two frameworks. And I'll explain how to do this in the next episode. Thanks so much.